Hi everyone, TJ Hernandez here, and I'm the founder of RosterCoach.com, a classroom-style video-based website that's designed to help you improve your daily fantasy sports game. Today's preview is from a lesson on how to use Vegas lines to calculate and use implied team totals to help you build NFL DFS lineups. If you like this video, please like and share it, and don't forget to leave a comment below.
Now, I also wanted to show you guys how I keep track of implied team totals every week. I do with a spreadsheet. Excel, obviously a great tool, and I know that we have some videos on using Excel to dominate your DFS research and lineups every single week. But I set up here a pretty basic spreadsheet that gives me a nice template for figuring out team totals every week. So the way that I set this up, over on the left, obviously, you can see I have predicted game total for a given game. Then I list the favorite, I input the line, and I input, obviously, the underdog in that game. Now, the favorite total and underdog total are things that I just do using an Excel formula. So if you look here at what I put in for fave total, I'm doing A2 minus E2, dividing that by 2, and then adding E2 back in. That's the exact same technique that I used previously on the chalkboard to determine the implied team total for the favorite. At that time, it was the Giants. Now it's the Carolina Panthers, but the formula is obviously the same. For the underdog, it's the exact same thing, except that I'm not adding the line back in at the end. So you can see Excel will calculate this for us rather easily, and all I have to do is copy that formula down my spreadsheet. Okay, so every single week, I can just replace the teams, replace the line, and I'll get a new number. So these are the initial lines for week 1. If the lines change or I want to use this again for week 2, all I would have to do is clear out the teams that I put in as well as the lines, and I can start over. So maybe the first game in week 2 is, I don't know, maybe it's the game that we were talking about before. New York Giants favored by 3 against Philly with a 47-point total. And you can see that the results are the exact same that we got before on the chalkboard. Now, it's also really important for me that every single week I can take these totals and I can put them in some kind of aggregate list. So what I did on the right was I listed every single team in the NFL, and then I included this longer formula to draw the total from the table on the left side and get it into a nice list for me on the right. You'll notice here that I'm using the COUNTIF function. The reason that I'm doing that is I just want to see before I use any kind of lookup formula that that team actually exists, because we know that we have bye weeks sometimes, and when I put my numbers in, I don't want to get an error back when really what I want is just a blank spot for a given team. So the long form here, and I'll keep this formula up for you, basically says this. If the New York Giants are a favorite, look up their total in the favorite total column. If they aren't, then let's see if they're an underdog. If they're an underdog, display their underdog total. And if we still haven't seen them, display a blank space. So you'll notice the quotations at the end of the formula. That's just telling me if the Giants didn't appear. So let's say Giants over here, if I took them out, now you'll see that the total just becomes a blank space, as opposed to giving me back some kind of reference error that's ugly and messes up my spreadsheet. Okay, if you have any further questions on any of these functions, I know TJ has some excellent videos on spreadsheet functions, but I want to make sure we have time to talk about a couple other things that I'm interested in. The first, obviously, once I have all of these things up, I want to be able to order them. Okay, so you can highlight your table and right-click on it. When you right click, you can see it says sort. You can do any kind of sort you want. I usually do a custom sort. And now you can choose sort by total, largest to smallest. Okay. And now you'll see that I have all my team totals for the week given to me in order. Makes it nice and easy for me to use. Okay. And if I wanted to do one other thing to make this really easy to read, I can just highlight all of my totals. Up on the top, I can just click home. There should be something that says conditional formatting. And if I select that, I can set a color scale for myself. Again, I know TJ's talked about this. We have some options. I'm going to choose the one that makes the higher totals in green and the lower totals in red. I'll click that. And now I have for myself a nice color scale. This helps me visually to better match teams with similar totals. So I have an idea of how the given team totals look based on the rest of the totals on a given slate. Again, this is a reusable spreadsheet. This is something that you can do once, save it, and you can reuse it every single week. So it's a really important tool for me, and I think that it's something you guys could all definitely use when doing your research.